Okay. Hi guys, I'm Maria and I am the admin of the Money Making Esthetician group and I am going with Jessica. So a while ago, I made a poll and I asked everybody, what do you guys want to see? And everybody said business questions. So I was like, Jessica, come on now.
That's me.
So you make, and this, you make it look so easy. The business stuff, but it's not streaming correctly. You make it look so easy. And this is the weirdest comparison, probably like, so I used to like watch Beyonce and be like, so easy, anybody can do that, right? But then this is when I was like so young. And so then one day I was like, can anybody do that? Can I actually do that? And she makes it look so easy that you feel like anybody can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that easy. I cannot do what Beyonce does.
Well, and I definitely think some of it's mindset and some of it is as we, like your reference to being younger and seeing Beyonce, it's like as we get older, we start to put more limitations on ourselves of what we can and cannot do and start to have that self-doubt. And, our body's natural response is to protect ourselves. So for a lot of people, when that's outside their comfort zone, leaning into the business side, it just becomes something that they feel like they can't do or they're not good at. So I love that we each in the beauty industry have our own unique thing that we really shine in. And the business side is definitely my specialty. I love it. I love helping other entrepreneurs to build their brand, to build their business. And I'm such a big believer in mentorship because it's something I've walked through many times with many different mentors over the year. And every time I evolve into the next better version of myself. And my business only gets better, stronger, and less work as time goes on. So people do look and they're like, you make it look so easy, but I started in that place of, okay, how am I going to do this?
Right.
I had a lot on my plate. I was 23, new spa owner, I had employees, and it's not always easy, but absolutely, if we really lean into the resources available to us, and that's mentorship, that's companies that really provide a lot of guidance and support with their modalities, with their skincare products, and really the sisterhood of all of us estheticians together, then you really can build a brand that feels as good as it looks from the outside. So I really love that aspect because it's not all about looking easy or looking successful from the outside, but really feeling that you're living that when, you think about your days and your life and you want to make sure you're living something that's really fulfilling.
Totally. Do you want to do like a little bit of intro and like your background and like how you got there?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I majored in business originally and was going to open a clothing store, but I ended up getting kind of pulled into the beauty industry. I worked in LA, I was working on set, and I really loved working with the talent that I was doing their makeup. And I decided to go back to school to get licensed as an esthetician. Originally, my thought was I would do like a brow and makeup bar and be in LA and work on set. And I really loved that. But as soon as I actually went to beauty school, went to esthetician school, I fell in love with skincare. And I fell in love with being able to help my clients have a transformation in their confidence and not just put makeup on to cover up their skin, but really to fall in love with their skin and to really become the best version of themselves. So I went back to school, got licensed, and ended up going the direction of being in the treatment room and working on clients and doing facials for many, many years. I still do, but now I'm only in the treatment room 2 days a month. And through that process, I purchased a spa, I built the brand up. I still own that same spa. But as I have developed my craft and my skill, I really love the side of mentorship and being able to give back to our community and give back to our fellow estheticians and help them to build from the ground up and build something that really feels good and feels successful. So I mentor women. I still own my spa. I do see clients a couple days a month, and I still love being in the treatment room, but I'm kind of here to also help other people really love this career as well and see the success in it.
Totally. I think one thing that's so cool too is like all the mentorships you have done, you put it into your umbrella. So it's like sometimes a lot of people might not be comfortable paying for like a mentor. When is the right time would you suggest like it's time for a mentor?
I don't think there's ever a time that's not a good time. I think it's an incredible investment in yourself, but really looking at the various options and seeing, who is a good fit. And I'm just such a big believer that things happen for a reason. So like my last mentor that I heavily invested in, I don't even know how I ended up finding her. Like it was just like such a meant to be thing. And I really was following because I loved what she was putting out there around motherhood, and that really stood out to me. And then she actually comes from the beauty industry, and it's just such a small world. But I always tell people, like, you're going to know in your sacral and in your body and your gut if this is the right move for you. And sometimes you can feel really called to do something and it's also really scary, and it's an investment. You're like, how am I going to pay for it? And that feeling is there for all of us. Like, as I've invested in each one of my mentors, I've been like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Like this, paying this person. And every time I've come out, stronger in business, stronger in myself and my communication and my trust in myself. My mindset has expanded, my capacity has expanded. And I really am such a believer that there's no wrong time to do mentorship, but when you're really feeling that pull, it's definitely the right time to do it.
Totally. Like, it's like energy. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It is. And there's a lot of times that we get down on ourselves in business and might feel like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? But I really want to remind everybody who's listening or catches the replay that every entrepreneur I know, and this is like, I know people who do millions a year, and I know people who are just starting out. Everybody that I talk with, we're all on the same path. There's ups, there's downs, there's really fantastic days. And then there's days where we're like, what am I doing? And that is just the life of being an entrepreneur. Not every single day is perfect. But I believe that when we work with mentors and we coach our mindset and we get to a place that our reaction to the not great days is a place of how can I, where can I turn, or how can I redirect this? Then those dips and those valleys start to get a lot lower and lower and lower. And you might not you have days that aren't necessarily the best in business. Maybe a client complains, maybe somebody who's been with you for a long time on your staff, leaves or quits, but there's always room for expansion. So when you manage the way you look at everything through your mindset, it really helps your business to expand. It really does. And I say this to encourage you, if you're having a rough day or week or month, or you just started out and you're like, how am I going to do this? We've all been there. Everybody who is an entrepreneur has started in that place of the beginning, and how are they going to do this? And really, mentorship and coaching is just such a great tool for you to lean in and ask your questions, get thoughts and responses back that maybe you didn't think of. And that really is so empowering when you're building your business, to not always be reacting from a place of fear or finances, but to have somebody to lean into and get another perspective and really pull out other ideas for you and help see where you can pivot and really continue to build your brand.
Totally. 100. I think everybody does have those like peaks, but the way you handle them is so differently with like experience. Mm-hmm. And then also with like having to talk to someone. Because I remember there would be times where I would get like cancellations. It was during COVID. Everybody would get COVID. And it's like this huge spike out here in California. And I had like 6 people like rebook or cancel, and I was like on the floor, like so upset, like this is money,
Exactly. Yeah.
And then, but now the way I handle it is so much more different versus in that time. Now I'm like, well, this is part of business. What I'm going to do now is like get a couple models. So I'm still going to make sure, but it's 100%, which is why I feel like mentorship probably would have, if I would have got mentorship in that time, I would have reacted completely different. And I probably would have even been a little more successful in my marketing strategies.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's always people who are ahead of you, and there's always people who are, kind of behind you. And that's where there's such this great leverage with working with mentors, because they might be a few steps ahead and be able to give you the blueprint and be able to really guide you and see where maybe you're expending energy on worrying about things that really you could just redirect that energy and be more successful sooner. So it's so important to, kind of have that outside take on what you're walking through as a business owner. And this applies to all industries and to all fields, but I really love, excuse me, I love the beauty industry. I love, all the women that I work with. And it's so important to me that I really pour back into this community because there's so much available to us. There's
Totally.
freedom, there's flexibility, like there's so much available to us. And not only that, but the impact that we're making for our clients. And that's really important to me. The more we're all lifting each other up, the more we're lifting up our clients and helping build the community in general.
Yeah. I saw that T left. I was really hoping I wanted you guys to like talk. Maybe she'll come back.
Oh, I hope she does. Yes. That's one of the women I mentor, and Maria was able to meet her at the show this weekend, which was really cool in Las Vegas. That was so fun.
I think it's a completely different experience when you meet people in life, because I actually got to see you do your mentorship in like real life, which I was like on fire for, by the way.
Yay!
I'm an easy, like,
yeah,
I get really passionate.
It's so organically just happened. It was so perfect that we all just met up at the same moment. It was like meant to be.
It was literally meant to be, because I was like, even after like that, listening, obviously like anybody who is like advertising the group, we've like talked about it, we've met in person, but it was just so heartwarming to see you guys speak. I really wanted to open the floor to people who want to ask questions, but so we'll wait for them. Who would you, obviously your mastermind is going to be closing soon. Do you want to speak about that? Who is it for? And
yeah, absolutely. So we launch tomorrow. It is a mastermind community. We have 2 live trainings each month. And then in addition to that, we have twice a week, a mastermind space where we come together, talk about your business plan, your marketing, how you're growing your business, what, if you're hitting things that you're not really sure which direction to go, or trying to bring these services on, raise your prices, maybe build out a membership. If you're looking to hire a team, these are all things that we cover. So it's really great because it's not a pre-recorded set of trainings. I actually take on, I already have a group of women. I have 3 spaces open left if anybody's interested in joining, but 3 spaces left. And I'm going to take everybody in there and really look at what their needs are and curate all of the trainings for the next 6 months around their custom and specific needs. So it's different than something you just purchase and it goes right into your email inbox and it's all these pre-recorded trainings. This is actually being geared and customized specifically to your needs. So we have a great group of women, and the couple that have been with me the last 3 months are staying in. I have a few new people who have joined, looking for 3 more people if you're interested to jump in, but it's a great program. We have paid in full options or also monthly payments. So I'm all about, having options for people who are looking to take that next step and really build their business, build their clientele, and really get to the next level where you're not living to work, but you're really working so that you can go out and live your life. So I'm all about quality of life, and teaching people how to make more money in less time is such a big piece of that.
I'm like, how do you make money in less time? What is like little tips you can give someone who's watching?
I'm all about multiple streams of income. I definitely, this industry, there's so much available to us for online sales, for product, bringing team on, people who are also sharing your space, or if you have a larger space, bringing on employees. There's a lot of different ways. And that's how I've been able to continue to have a flow of income coming into to myself from my business, and I'm only there 2 days a month. So I'm all about teaching people the different ways, and it is different for each person because everybody's ultimate goal is different. And yes, it's, financially we all want to make more money, but some people it's time, some people it's, there's a lot of different ways to navigate. I've got women I work with who homeschool their kids, so they want to work 2 days a week and really bring in a lot of money in that time. I have other people who don't have children and they just want to really build their brand right now. So there's a lot of different ways for us to really focus depending on what your personal needs are. But I love, multiple streams of income and things that people are continuing to purchase from you without you actually having to see them for a facial. They maybe come in for treatments, but then they're also purchasing things from you online as well.
Like retail?
Retail's huge. I work with a collagen company that I really stand behind and support. They also, I love that you don't have to like sign up, but you actually can purchase it and then sell it. So you can sell it online or to them in your store. And that's something that my clients are buying every month. So I have them not only on the skincare, but the collagen, and then obviously doing, the mentorship is great for me. I have some women in my space who also want to build out their own mentorship program, and they're learning how to do that from walking with me. So I'm here to support everybody and their individual desires. Some people right now don't think they'd ever want to mentor, but maybe in 5 or 10 years, they'll find themselves in that position. So it's definitely important to kind of look at where you're at and then where you want to be, and we can fill the gaps in.
Oh, I love that. I like that you have it per person where they're at. So you tailor, so it's like a new esthetician. Like, I think getting clients in is a really big question.
Yes.
And retaining clients is another big one. How would you suggest somebody gets clients in?
Getting clients in, yes, you can use social media and posting and being consistent and really showcasing your before and afters and speaking to what your specialty is. So some people will call it like pain points, but really talking to your clients about what you can do for them and what you can offer for them. So if you're an acne specialist, you're really showcasing that transition from the before and after and talking about what you do as an esthetician to help your clients. And as far as, that's a good way on social media, but I'm a big believer that getting out in the community and networking and talking, really getting comfortable. I always post this in the group, but getting really comfortable talking about what you do. A lot of people, if someone's like, oh, what do you do? They're like, oh, I'm an esthetician. And then that's it. They just leave it there. But I'm such an advocate of using that question as an opportunity to talk about what we do so much deeper than just, oh, I'm an esthetician. A lot of people either don't know what that is. They don't really realize the benefits outside of just relaxation or going to the spa. So when you get comfortable talking about what you really do and the transformation you make for your clients, it's such an invitation for them to come in and see you. So getting in the community, getting comfortable. I have gotten so many clients from swim lessons or neighbors or the mailman, like quite literally, like anybody who I would talk about my business, and they all end up coming in. And that's just the welcoming of educating them on what you do and then making an invitation to come in. So that's a great way. Doing community events is another great way. I've quite literally done it all. So I actually give the women in my mastermind a tracker sheet that goes through all of these different things that they can be doing every week and have them like keep track, because then you really can see when you start getting clients in, you can really look and see, okay, what have I been doing that's working, and continue doing that. So you're not just trying something different for marketing every week or 2 weeks. Some people don't give it enough time to see the result because they're just constantly changing the way they market, and nothing's going to stick when you continue to change so rapidly.
So if somebody, because I want to give them a little like tidbit, if somebody goes to you and says, what do you do? What do you say?
Oh, I love this. So I let people know that I've been a spa owner, and I always talk about how long I've been doing this. Even if you're new, you absolutely can include the time that you were in school and that you've been doing some training, but I'll say, oh, I've been a spa owner for 14 years. I also work in the treatment room. We've just recently launched a new service. I work with Exo8 Cosmeceuticals, so I'm using their masks and serums, and I start talking about that line. And I really showcase all of the different things I've done to educate myself, because at that point, they're like, wow, this girl really knows what she's talking about. And then I let them know, even when I'm not taking new clients, which I'm currently not, I'll let them know I'm not taking new clients, but I have the most phenomenal team. If you're ever looking to come in and get a facial, I would love to get you set up with one of them. Or back when I was building, I would just say, my books are really starting to fill up, but I would love to get you in for a service. Did you want to talk about scheduling something? Do you want to take my card? And it's really that invitation. And people are really, when you lead with sharing all of your knowledge and what your expertise is, people feel so invited to come in and see you. It's not like a sales pitch,
I'm like, book me.
Right? It's like, you're like, wait a minute, what's the new service? Tell me more. But it really does make a difference. And when they start hearing, oh, she works at this skincare company, and she, and even if you don't do those things, it's how you present yourself. Imagine like going into a doctor's office, and if the doctor's like, well, I don't know when you should come back in, when you think you should come back in. You want them to be like, okay, this is the diagnosis for today. This is when I want to see you back. Even if it's just a routine check, they're like, okay, schedule for a year from now. They're very powerful in the way they speak to you. And I believe that's, we are the, therapist of the skincare world. And it's our job to really educate our clients and let them know when we need to see them back in order to meet their goals. And it's really no different, even an auto body shop, you go in there and they're telling you each step of what you need to do. And for some reason, a lot of women or men too, in this space of skincare feel intimidated by sales or by rebooking. And it's so important. It's the clients coming in and paying us for that. They're paying us for our education and our, everything we know, that we're sharing it with them so that they can see changes in their skin. Does that make sense?
10,000%.
Yeah.
I would say, so backstory, because I don't want anyone to feel discouraged. I tried to go solo. I was so bad that I had to go back and work somewhere else, because at this point there wasn't necessarily a Facebook group or that kind of stuff yet. Man, when I look back, I was probably terrible. But now, moving forward, because I took my step back, I worked on my weaknesses, and now I have like a great business where I'm like kind of not really taking new clients anymore. But everybody starts somewhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and thank you for saying that, Maria, because yes, I've walked through all this, but like in the very beginning, I couldn't cash my paychecks. Like I would write them because energetically, I'm like, no, I'm going to pay myself. But if I cashed them, one of my employees would have bounced. So I did start where it was not super easy. And, I racked up a bunch of credit card debt in the very beginning, and I ended up hiring a mentor. And that's why I'm such an advocate, because without hiring that mentor, I really was just spinning my wheels because I wasn't trying anything long enough. I wasn't really holding myself accountable and being consistent enough. And sometimes we think we're doing it right, or maybe we just are really consistent, but we're not doing the right thing. So having that resource of somebody to look at what we're doing, look at our website, look at our menu, look at our pricing, and really make sure that everything we're doing makes sense from a business standpoint. And we changed a lot. I bought my business, made some changes. And then when I brought my mentor on, we continued to make changes, because things that I thought were a great idea, they're like, yeah, there's a loophole there, and this is why. And so it really is beneficial to have another set of eyes. And also in a mastermind community, you have all the other women who are walking in the same direction as you. So now not only are you working with me as a mentor, but you're hearing my feedback to all these other women and their business. And sometimes it brings up things that you didn't even think of. And you're like, wow, that's a really good idea. You don't know what to ask when you don't know what to ask. So when you have a group of people around you and you're all doing kind of the same thing, it really helps to spur ideas and to really trigger you to excellence. I really believe that. I believe when you're sitting with people headed the same direction, it's so inspiring and you get to that next level faster.
Oh, it totally puts a fire in you. So so I took from this is you get comfortable saying what you do. You have different strategies, and then client retention.
Client retention really comes so much down to the education and to really making the recommendations. I always say sales is service. And if you're not selling to them, you're not going to retain your client unless they are already using really good products at home. But for them to see results, they need to be on good skincare. They need to be getting the correct treatments with you. And so much of that just comes from you having the mindset and the knowledge. The more you educate yourself, the more you're around people who are talking in this industry and picking up what they're saying. I still take classes and pick up things. I'm like, oh, that was a great way to word that. And, I still pick things up, but it's getting yourself into the rooms where they're having the conversations that are the next level, so that you're picking that up and sharing that with your clients as well. But education is the basis for all of it. Educating our clients is so important to get them coming back and to buying products and to really becoming consistent and loyal with you. I've had the same clients for some of them 12, 13, 14 years. And I swear they've aged backwards, which is an amazing feeling as an esthetician when they, are in their 70s and look phenomenal. And people are like, how do you look so good? They're like, oh, my esthetician. But that's something that whether you're new and just starting out or you've been in it for a couple years, really there's so much potential in this industry to build that loyalty and build that clientele when you believe in yourself and you know that you're doing the right thing.
Totally. Is there anything fun? If anybody wants to ask questions, you're more than welcome to.
Definitely welcome to pop on. And I do the mentorship. We're launching tomorrow. You can join, tonight, tomorrow morning, we could pop you into the group. You don't have to be live for the trainings. So I know some people worry about their schedule and they're not sure if they can get in, but everything is recorded live and then you'll have access to watch it the next 6 months. So if you can't be there live tomorrow, don't let that be the thing that distracts you from joining. There's other ways we communicate and you'll always have an opportunity to ask your questions, get your answers, and really look to the group and see what everyone else is doing as well. It's really a different space than being in, like, your group's so incredible, Maria, but there's almost 100,000 people, congratulations, but being in a smaller group like this is so beneficial to really ask your targeted questions.
For sure.
Anybody have questions? I'm so here for it. If you guys have questions for me.
Do you want to leave anybody with like a little piece of advice, or I guess what would you tell yourself 5 years ago?
The 5-year-ago version of me, while I had been already investing in mentorship, I would definitely not be as hesitant to invest in my business on good products and I always use good products, but I was always kind of afraid to make that next investment for modalities and for product. But the more we up level what we're doing in our treatment room, the more the results really speak to our clients and the more you're going to get referrals and gift card sales. So I really encourage everybody to look around and look at your business. What pieces are missing? Where are you uncertain? Where do you need some shifts in your mindset? And then also look at your back bar in your treatment room and see if there's anything that you have been doing the same thing for a long time. And maybe it's time to up level that and really excite your clients and reinvigorate your business by reinvesting. I'm such a big fan of reinvesting, and then it always comes back to you tenfold. I really believe that. And I feel that way, especially, right after the show, and we just launched new services and new modalities at my spa. And it really does, your clients get excited again. And it's really all about how you share it with them. And that's so much of what we talk about in the mentorship is how to have these conversations, how to educate the client. We actually like role play. Like I'll have the women, pretend I'm the client and how would you talk to me through the beginning of the facial and then the end of the facial. What's your, going over the intake form and how do you rebook me? And then we make little tweaks. And I do give everyone this round, everyone's going to get copies of some scripts that have worked really well for me. So I just encourage you to take a look at your business. And if there's something that's not working great, look at where you can get the right person to help you fix it, because it definitely can be done. There's, it can be discouraging when you're in that low point in your business, but you can absolutely go back up and just really, I truly believe not even the sky is the limit. Like there's so much accessible to us. So I love it. And I'm here. If anybody has questions, you guys can always reach out, shoot me a DM and let me know what your questions are too.
What would you say is the best two things? What do you use for your back bar? Because it's another one.
Yes.
What is the best thing you've bought for your business?
I would honestly say, and I know people think I'm just partial because I do work with them, but I would say the best investment I've made is I love XO8 Cosmeceuticals. I love the company. I love the support they offer. And I've worked with their products on my back bar for almost 5 years, and I've only worked with them the last 2 years. But I work with them because I believe so much in what they're doing. They're so supportive of the esthetician, whether you're a solo or you have a big business with 10 employees, they're supportive across the board. They have a ton of education, a ton of marketing materials, and they really pour into you. And they don't have a minimum order, which is so nice when you're starting out or you have an event, and you're just looking to bring a little something in. They really cater to all different estheticians depending on where you're at in your business. So XO8 is my favorite on my back bar, and I use it on my own skin. I'm totally hooked. And then I also use Iromedics, a smaller company. I really love them. I use a little PCA, kind of use a little bit of everything. I have Jet Plasma, I have Regenerate I love. So we kind of do a little bit of everything, and my clients are super happy and love the results. And I sell a ton of retail, which is not only great for my business and my bottom line, but it really creates that client loyalty because they're seeing the results. When they're using good product at home, that's when they're really seeing the results between their facials and their product.
10,000%.
And that's where the education is so important. And sometimes it's like just that tweak in your mindset that you are the professional, and educating them is what they're paying you for. You know, they're coming in and they're paying for your recommendations and they're paying for your service. So we really work on that in my coaching program to make sure everybody feels super confident. And, you know, even if you're a solo, I had one of the women I work with not really taking tips because she was running their own, you know, she would run their credit card because she was a solo and she didn't have a receptionist. And she didn't even know that verbiage of how to communicate to the client if they wanted to leave a tip. So she just wasn't even doing it because she felt awkward. And those are the little pivots in your business that really have such a big effect. So we worked on it, and she's like, I'm totally doing it, and everyone's tipping, and you know, it's just little things that make such a big difference for you.
So what would you tell someone who can't get tips?
If they're running gratuity themselves and they're nervous about it, it's such a natural part of our business. And there's two ways you can do it. One is you raise your prices and you tell people tax and tip and everything's included. And obviously tax on product you would be separate, but some states I know charge tax on their service. But for product, you're still collecting tax and that gets paid, you know, to the state. But as far as gratuity, you can include it in your service and raise your prices. I have some accounts that do that with me. And then you also can just really gain that confidence to say, you know, here's your total for the service today. And then if you want to leave a gratuity, you can do that right here. And there's really no reason not, it's like this funny thing that we do to second guess or self-doubt, but people like me, it's like, I want to tip the people I go in to see. And my clients are the same way. Like they feel honored to have the opportunity to come in and see me, and they're really happy with the results and they want to leave a tip. So I'm not going to be awkward and weird about it, because then that makes them feel weird too. So I really just believe in rehearsing and practicing in the mirror and getting comfortable and confident in what you're offering.
So basically getting confident.
It's so much about mindset. I have to tell you, like all of my trainings, like we'll be talking about sales or retail or memberships or marketing, and all of it circles right back around to mindset and your energetics and really raising your frequency. I'm a big believer in, you know, the frequency that we carry, and we have so much power on what frequency we're sitting at and where our mindset's at, and redirecting a lot of our thoughts is so powerful in business.
So powerful.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the only reason I have all the things I'm doing right now is because I've had to work through the mindset block and remind myself I can do it and it's okay. And there's people doing it. And there's so many people you can look at and be like, wow, they're doing it. Like, let that, like, some people say trigger, some say inspire, but it's kind of both. It's like inspire you, like into excellence. Like really, there's people modeling it and showing us that we can do it and it's available to us. We just have to believe in ourselves. And the second that you start to believe in yourself, it starts to happen. Clients start calling, rebooking, coming in, new people, old people. It's just, you have to believe that it's there for you.
10,000%. So where do people reach you? Do you want to put the link? I could also put the link in the Facebook.
Yeah, I can drop it into the Facebook. The legacycollective.us is my website. You can also DM me directly. I'm so open to having a quick conversation, seeing if it's a good fit for you. This is really designed for the person who's already on their own or already has their business in place, or you're like ready to go. Like you're doing the thing. There's no reservation there, because there's going to be a lot of, you know, activations that give you essentially like homework, but you don't have to do it, but you want to do it, because that's how you're going to grow your business, is by taking these different pieces that I provide you and running with it. And some people, if you're not quite in the right space and you're, you know, if you're still in school, you want to focus on getting finished with school. But when you're ready and you're like, I'm here to do the thing, then that's when your time to jump in with me is perfect.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for all your knowledge, and let's continue the discussion back in the group. I highly encourage you guys to ask Jessica the questions, that she will help you.
Yes, I am totally here for it. I want to teach everyone in this group who's not already doing it, because I know a lot of you are, and it's awesome to witness. And the ones who aren't there yet and you're having self-doubt, now is the time. Like, there's literally no time like the present, and you can be in the same situation a year from now, or you could be wildly ahead of where you are. So I just encourage you to take a look and let me know if you have any questions, and we start tomorrow. So this is your invitation to jump in. And if you have any questions on XO8 or on anything else that we talked about today, even outside of the membership or the mentorship, please feel free to give me, shoot me a DM and we can talk about it.
Yay. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much. Bye, Maria.
Bye.